Hello. How's it going, everybody? So, I've done Blender streams before, but but sometimes I have a hard time because like a lot of stuff my skill set is not like super big at the moment. So a friend suggested this because I pull up a lot of tutorials and I have like a lot of courses to try to build up my skill set to do this more often, except for making my own shit or like maybe stuff viewers would want in the future. But obviously I can't stream the coursework because that is paid for and I would probably get my ass eaten out if they did that and if the people noticed that. Like, wait a minute, you're sharing our shit for free. Get your ass here. But anyway, yeah. So I'm going to I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous because like basically I'm going to be doing these YouTube videos while listening to some chill music and yeah. And just like work on stuff. Although this is weird because to have this working, I need to have like OBS minimized. I have like a lot of video as you can tell. Some of them are short, some of them are super long. Those two I can't show. Those are course related shit. And other things like more course related shit. I do want to show you guys something I did made though. I actually made this earlier today with one of my courses. I'll load. It's loading. Give it a sec. I have to pay attention to my third monitor now. But yeah, I made an ocean simulation today. It was fun. It was fun learning how that works. And yeah. All right. So we're gonna learn how to make light streaks.
Today we'll be making light streaks like this. They're very ephemeral and super fast to render in Blender's Eevee render engine. We'll be setting the sampling down to 1 for viewport and render, and we'll start off by adding a plane. Shift A to enter.
Oh shit, what'd I do?
And select a plane to add. And we'll go up here to texture paint. You'll notice that it's pink purple at the moment. That's because there's no texture applied to the surface. We're going to make a new image. I'll just call it dots or shape. Leave everything as it is. Zoom that out a little bit and we're in paint mode. Let's paint a shape. Press N on the keyboard, pick a nice color, maybe blue. Let's draw a shape on here, maybe a love heart. And the first thing to remember is that we need to save this out.
Okay. I hope the volume for the videos are good, and if y'all want like the link to the videos, just let me know and I will post them in the Discord, or not the Discord, the Twitch chat. Fuck.
So let's go to here. See there's an asterisk saying it's draw a little bit, and we're in paint mode. Let's paint a shape. Press N on the keyboard, pick a nice color, maybe blue. Let's draw a shape on here, maybe a love heart. And the first thing to remember is that we need to save this out. So let's go to here. See there's an asterisk saying it's an unsaved image. We'll go save as, and we'll call it dot shape and save. Now it's a saved image and there's no more asterisks. That's great. We'll go back to our layout mode. Let's have a look at the shader editor. So I'm clicking and dragging to separate a new window.
So he went back to layout and I personally like opening the shader window through this. The shader editor here. You can do it either way.
Go down to the shader editor. Click New. I don't need this principal.bsdf, delete that. But I would like, by pressing Control T, I have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, so if I press Control T, it adds for me the image texture. G to drag that across.
I do not have that add-on.
I'm going to select dot shape.
So hold up. So image texture. I can figure this out. Let's see. Vector. Okay. And then the texture coordinator. So I don't see it on here. Unless I'm blind. Okay, so it's an input. Why wouldn't it be in texture? That's so confusing. UV will be in the vector. Okay, and the vector will go into the vector, and then I can... And documents, and...
Across. I'm going to select dot shape from the drop down. Leave everything as is from the UV mapping.
Okay.
And if we change this to rendered view, you can see there's our little love heart on the screen there.
What? Yeah, it's saved correctly, so... Linear, flat. Repeat single image. Oh, I didn't connect it to this. There we go. I was like, wait, what'd I do?
At the moment, Blender
Hmm.
thinks this is just an emission. I'm going to add a add shader. And I'm going to add a transparent shader. We're going to plug that in at the bottom. Oh no! What happened to our shape? It went away. Well, if we come over here to the material properties and we scroll down to settings, we can see blend mode needs to be on alpha blend, which is super fast. And now we can see through from both sides. Next thing we need to do is make sure this is in the middle. So we're going to go Alt G to clear location. And we'll make sure our cursor is in the center. So Shift S.
Oh, wait, I fucked up. I fucked up. Hold on, make sure.
Our shape, it went away. Well, if we come over here to the material properties and we scroll down to settings, we can see blend mode needs to be on alpha blend, which is super fast. And now we can see through from both sides. Next thing we need to do is make sure this is in the middle. So we're going to go Alt G to clear location. And we'll make sure our cursor is in the center. So Shift S and cursor to world origin. Okay, so they're both in the same location. We're going to go Shift A again and add a curve. So Shift S.
Oh, Shift S. I was like, huh? Oh, man. Cursor to world origin. If you're wondering what the world origin is, it's that thing right there. That weird little circle radius thing that, like, basically that says that's the center of the world, or Zawaldo.
And cursor to world origin. Okay, so they're both in the same location. We're going to go Shift A again and add a curve.
Shift A.
There's our curve. It's not very interesting yet. We're going to select our plane and we're going to add some modifiers now. So let's make the first modifier an array. You can see an array modifier duplicates our first plane. It's going to do that quite a lot more. So we'll go change this array to fit to curve. So it reads a curve and determines how many planes to fill that curve up. So get the picker, select our Bezier curve, and straight away it's going the wrong way. We'll turn off relative offset and turn on constant offset. Turn off the distance for X, and we're going to use the Z value instead. Now the object is trying to fill the length of the curve with this array of images, all spaced 1 meter apart in Blender space.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So let's make it 0.1.
I didn't know you could do this with an array modifier.
Now we have a streak almost, although you can see in between them. And of course it's not following our path. So let's add another modifier, and this time the deform modifier curve. And let's choose the Bezier curve. Great, but wait. It's not really following the curve, is it? It's stacking up on top of the curve. So let's change the direction that it's analyzing this, and we'll make it the Z direction. That's more like it. Now we can see that it's following the curve. If I turn off the overlay, you can see that it's following the curve of that shape, but there are too many still. Let's change the constant offset amount so we can jam in more segments. Let's put a 0 in front of our 0.1. 0, enter. There we go. That's much nicer. But depending on the angle of view, you can still see in between if I turn off the overlay. What we'll do is modify the shape of our plane just a little bit so that it bends into that gap. Let's add a subdivision surface. Make it simple.
Wait, did he apply that modifier? Oh no, he minimized it. Okay,
the shape of our plane just a little bit so that it bends into that gap. Let's add a subdivision surface. Make it simple. Subdivide it a couple times like this. Now you can't see the effect yet, but when we distort that, we'll better put it to the top of the stack first. Drag it up the top. And now we want to add a displace. And it's a texture displace. Let's press new for new texture and press the little texture tab button to take us to this texture tab at the bottom. We're going to change that from movie to blend and change this from linear to spherical. We'll go back to our modifier stack. It's in the wrong place though because it's trying to bend the whole thing at the wrong end. So we need to put this at the top so that each piece gets distorted the same way. So now it bends through those gaps. Now it may be too much, so we can wind that back. You can see that That's what we are without the distortion, and then we slowly move the distortion in to get rid of that layering effect. And if we add more arrays in there,
Wait, hold up.
slowly move the distortion in to get rid of that layering effect. And if we add more...
So 0.12, that's what he put. 0.1. Oh, no. No, looks kind of cool.
arrays in there. So let's make this say 0.5 or 0.02. You get a much denser streak.
Oh.
What we can also do is determine the length of our Bezier curve by dragging it out, and instantly the streak gets longer, because
if you press the dot key, when you're selecting an object, it'll zoom in, and like, you know, if you're struggling with zooming. So wow.
our array modifier is saying duplicate that plane more times to fill up that length.
That looks so cool though.
Now it's also too bright at this point, so let's modify the brightness here in the shader. If we go to add a hue, saturation, we also get a value, and we can wind down the value of the brightness like this. Okay, that's great, but say we want this light streak to animate over time. Well, we can do that by adding in a...
Hold on. You're going a little fast, buddy. Wait for me, I'm slow and derpy. 0.540. Okay.
texture coordinate. Texture, whoops, let's try coordinate. There it is. And if we select the curve and we add a separate XYZ, we can take the Z value, which is along the length of the curve, and plug it into our brightness value. Not much has changed yet. But if we add a map range node.
Oh, we plugged in the value.
We change this to 1 and the other value to 0. Now we get to animate along the length of the curve. Oh, this value here too for our and the other. But if we add a map range node, and we change this to 1 and the other value to 0. Now we get to animate along the length of the curve. Oh, this value here too for our minimum value that I'm animating the length of the curve, this number is dependent on the length of the curve. So if we animate, or if we stretch this curve out like this, drag it out longer, and we go back to our plane, now it takes much more time to, a larger value to drag out to the end. If you tab into the curve and press the N key for this panel on the side and choose item in edit mode, you'll notice there are other values you can modify. For example, one of them is the tilt. So you can rotate that vector of the curve.
Oh shit,
and
you can make like a cyclone with that if you wanted.
Swell up at that point. You can make a hurricane effect, I guess. or you can make it very small and
Yeah.
make some sort of tentacle effect. Great, but it's a little bit too bright. So why don't we add a curve node? Curve example. Press the N key longer value that I'm animating the length of the curve. This number is dependent on the length of the curve. So if we animate, or if we stretch this curve out like this, drag it out longer, and we go back to our plane, now it takes much more time to, a larger value to drag out to the end. If you tab into the curve and press the N key for this panel on the side and choose item in edit mode, you'll notice there are other values you can modify. For example, one of them is the tilt. So you can rotate that vector of the curve. And you can animate the radius, so you can make it swell up at that point. You can make a hurricane effect, I guess, or you can make it very small and make some sort of tentacle effect. Great, but it's a little bit too bright. So why don't we add a curve node here after our brightness. And we can pull this down and attenuate the brightness of our image. And if we want to animate that, let's change the...
Okay, I was like messing with it, sorry.
You can make a hurricane effect, I guess, or you can make it very small and make some sort of tentacle effect. Great, but it's a little bit too bright. So why don't we add a curve node here after our brightness. And we can pull this down and attenuate the...
So, okay. So tab out of that, grab this.
Why don't we add a curve node?
Shift A. Oh. That's not where I wanted to put that.
Here after our brightness. And we can pull...
I don't like it when it's all mushed together. It's kind of crazy though. Like the fucking shader tree can get really chaotic if you don't like sort it, and it's just like, ooh.
Pull this down and attenuate the brightness of our...
Oh, he kind of moved it there. Oh shit! I turned it orange. Ooh, I like that color.
Image.
Oops. Well, I bet Brendan would really like this color. Well, art thou, Brendan? Oh, man.
And if we want to animate that, let's change the analysis of the image to a box with repeat and turn up the blend value. So it's mapping the image in a slightly different manner. And And what we can do is drive our rotation. So let's add a driver in here. So we'll type in hash frame, make sure it's lowercase, add the image in a slightly different manner of the image to a box with repeat, and turn up the blend value so it's mapping the image in a slightly different manner. And what we can do is
He did rotate the curb. Wait, did he? I can't. Maybe he did on the Z-axis. No, I guess maybe I'm bugging. Hmm. Rotate it. No, not so. Rotate on the x-axis, but then take it in edit mode. G. I'm trying to figure out how what the fuck he did here.
and press the N key for this panel on the side and choose item in edit mode. You'll notice there are other values you can modify. Make the radius of tentacle. It's a little bit too bright, or you can make it very small and make some sort of tentacle effect. Great, but it's a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like. He did something to the curb. He changed it, and I don't like it because now it's like mine looks kind of weird. Just. There you go. Okay, that's better. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing an oh fuck, sorry Dottie, my brain just exploded. I'm just working on 3D stuff, like I'm doing something a little different. I've done like some streams for me making stuff in 3D, but I'm a little lacking in my skill set, so I'm currently just following YouTube tutorials. LFG, what does that stand for? But yeah, so I'm just working on YouTube tutorials that will help expand my skill sets, and that way I can work on stuff and make headway and start doing my own shit with confidence. Also, how you doing? But what does
A
LFG
bit too
stand for?
bright. So why don't we add?
I'm guessing it stands for let's fucking go? That's the only thing I can think. I'm bad with acronyms, so forgive me.
Why don't we add a curve node here after our brightness? We can pull this down
Okay,
to a box with repeat and turn up the blend value. So it's mapping the image in a slightly different manner. And what we can do is drive our rotation. So let's add a driver in here. So we'll type in hash frame, make sure it's lowercase, divided by 50. Let's copy that and put it up here. Whoops. Need to put the hash at the front. Put another one in the Y value.
Oh, I actually just learned about this command while making my OSIN simulation for one of my courses today. We're like making it auto-animate the frames by telling it by changing the value between among 50 frames. That's what the hash frame means. Interesting. That's what I had to do for my ocean simulation. So now I hit play. Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Like little race of swirls. Oh, how'd they end up orange? Probably because I fucked with this. There we go. Yeah, I want it more pink. Actually, hold on. Wait, Dottie, do you want to see my ocean simulation?
Oh, that one didn't work. Take the plus off. There we go. So now you're getting a much more dynamic light streak effect. Don't forget that you can animate and modify the curve. The curve's a little bit jagged here. So if we select the curve, go back into its properties, we can turn up the resolution of the preview up to 64. And that makes everything nice and smooth. Don't forget that given that you're able to add any sort of texture in, you can go back to your texture paint and you can paint in other colors. So let's pick a different color to put on here.
Hold on. Like, yeah, I can show you real quick. Not that. Quick access. Yeah, I made this earlier today in one of my courses while learning fluid simulation. If it will load. There we go. Yeah, I made these. It's pretty. It's so pretty. I can't stream me doing courses though because that is paid for shit, and I'd rather them not eat my ass into oblivion with copyright shit and be like, listen, you're doing a bad thing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Oh, what? That was not the voice I meant to do. Oh, crap. This is fine. It's a little weird because I have to... I'm not used to using my third monitor for chat, but I have to have my second monitor full screen.
Like this.
Oh. Oh shit, so okay, let me go back and see how he did that.
You can go back to your texture paint and
Oh, okay.
you can paint in other colors. So let's pick a different color to put on here.
Wait, I don't see the colors to be able to paint this. Oh wait, it's over there.
Like this. Maybe a green. I do find though that the thicker you make these colors, the less impressive the light streak effect tends to be. And of course, this is with a still image. You could also place video, animated video, into the source texture. With texture in, you can go back to your texture paint and
I'm not really seeing changes though. Oh, because I didn't click on the object. Whoops. That's what was different. I didn't click the object. You learn something new every day. Okay, so oh, that's so pretty. I love it. Look at that.
you can paint in other colors. So let's pick a different color to put on here. Like this.
Oh, not shading.
Maybe a green. I do find though that the thicker you make these colors, the less impressive the light streak effect tends to be. And of course, this is with a still image. You could also place video, animated video, into the source texture. One other thing to note, if you want to move the objects around, if I press G and move that around, you'll notice that they get disassociated with each other because I'm only moving the curve and not the image plane. What you need to do is go to your image plane, add a constraint, child of, and we make it a child of our curve. Right? So now, when I select the add a, I'm around. One other thing to note, if you want to move the objects around, if I press G and move that around, you'll notice that they get disassociated with each other because I'm only moving the curve and not the image plane. What you need to do...
Also, I hope the volumes are good level so y'all can hear them.
Go to your image plane, add a constraint, child of, and we make it a child of our curve. Right? So now, when I select the curve, press G, anywhere I drag that, rotate that, will be reflected on the image plane as well. That's the basics of getting light streaks in Blender. And let's do a quick render. There's our render. You can see that it took less than 1 second to render a 1080 by 1920 image.
What the fuck? was interesting. Oh, that one looks interesting. Ooh, I see sword slash. I don't hear any volume from him. What the hell? Okay, but I can save this as a light streak base. Oh, no, that's not what I got. Boom. Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. That's such a cool effect. Select the camera. Okay, I'll save this as... I'll just name this YouTube tutorial stuff. I think I misspelled that, but I don't give a shit. Okay. New general. Hold on. I'll be right back. Oop. There we go. Hello, I'm back. Okay. Sorry about that. So he deletes the cube. A circle. Oops. Wait, how did he... I don't even hear anything from his volume. He extrudes it, but like... I can tell he extrudes it, but... I'll just extrude it straight down. It's so weird. This one does not have a talking one, so... So... I think mine needs to be a little skinnier. I think that'll work. Then looks like he's adding a vertex group, assign. So it's a vertex weight modifier. He's going really fast and he's not even talking, so... Wait, which one did he put? Did he put a weight edit or... Ugh. Okay, it's a weight edit. Okay, vertex weight edit. And then this group. Oh, custom curve. Okay, I just assumed he was going to... So he's inverting that. So he's adding a new, and it's global. Clouds. And back to the modifier tag. Good thing I know some of this shit already, because otherwise I would be so fucking lost. Okay, so he's adding a mass tool, so I have to really pay attention to this fucker. Then he add a smooth modifier. 0.04. Add a group 1. Repeat 30. Okay. Wait, why do you have it move us move it back? He didn't animate it, did he? No, okay. pixel perfect as I fucking get it. There you go. Now what do we do? He added another modifier. So he shrunk these two. Simple to form. Okay. Uh, what is he doing right there? If he's gonna make a tutorial like this, like to where you have to, like, he should at least be showing, like, because there's a thing for Blender to show like what buttons you're pushing. He should be showing that in case, because he's not talking. He's like, his video has no sound. The music is coming from my Spotify. Okay, so one. So how many times does it do it? 1, 2, 3. So he does it 3 times. Uh, the F. Oh, that's render. Let me see
You want to
this.
auto smooth a couple of things, and here what we're gonna do, it actually helps you be able to smooth shading here on object shade smooth. But you can see as soon as I do that, you know, we've lost all these edges. There's no longer any edges here. It's all smooth, and you can't tell where anything starts or stops. So the way we fix this is we go down to this tab right here, which is the object data tab. We'll go to normals, and then we can go to auto smooth. and as you can see, it pops all those edges right back on. So the way we can fix this is by playing around with the angle here. If I were to put it up to 90, it wouldn't do anything too great in this situation, because none of these angles are at 90 degrees. These are very, very much more sharp. See, all of this still have these sharp edges, which is nice. If I go back into edit mode by hitting tab, I can hit Control B to add in a couple bevels and scroll this wheel up. Back in tutorial, but that this in. So the way we fix this is we go down to this tab right here, which is the object data tab. We'll go to normals, and then we can go to auto smooth, and as you can see, it pops all those edges right back on.
Oh, well, this one was kind of annoying because, where is it? Which tab was it? It was, I have so many fucking tabs. Um, maybe there are some I messed up here. Okay, in the vertex paint, we went custom curve. Global. He went clouds. And added a mask. And a smooth. Zero 0.480. Ah, that's where I fucked up the values. Okay. We figured it out. I didn't put the right values in. Okay. Oops. Oh, this was a pain in the butt. Yeah, now I got a swirly thing. So apply. Okay, so he's gonna apply all the modifiers. Okay. We cooking. What'd he do? Okay, so let's type in 50. Oh wait. I was supposed to do that in edit mode. 1 is 9. Yep. I see what he's doing. He's having us delete all of these. I feel like this sword slash effect is not really good for animating because it's just. So it's in emission. Oh, I like how it kind of looks. So what the fuck? Wait, I looked away for 1 second. Oh, he turned on the bloom. Wait, where's the bloom setting? I don't see it. Oh, it's in the render. Okay, that's actually really pretty. Okay, I actually did not know that's how you turned it on. This was something I wanna. This right here was something I want to do, but that's like an add-on. Okay, so hold up. Which one should I do next? I have so many, guys, so many.
In this video I will show you how I've built the shader to create the magical sword effect on my latest animation. This effect is 100% shader based and it's not as complicated as you may think. We are going to use a technique that is
Oh shit.
often used
Because that looks cool as a still thing, but it doesn't really work animation-wise, because it's like, how the fuck do you animate it?
in VFX for video games called Dissolve. Let's get started. Here is the model.
Also, does like the sound and the like the guy does he sound too loud, or do I need to turn him down, or do I need to turn the music down? Does everything sound okay?
Use and the effect that we are going to build together. This can be done on any model, but you will have to follow a few steps that I'm going to show. I'm gonna simplify the current shader I've used for the animation because there are secondary effects that we won't need and that make the node tree a bit too complex. So I will get rid of every node but the principal BSDF shader. Note that my base color is set to black so that we have a dark weapon. I will give it a more classic look by pushing the metallic value to 1 and giving it a dark gray. I will also reduce a bit the roughness so that I have sharper reflections. Note that I'm in preview mode and we can access the default HDRI using the drop-down menu. And to be able to use transparency on our object, we do need to modify the blending mode of the material. In the Properties panel, under the material setting, I will go into blend mode and switch from opaque to alpha clip. Using this blend mode, our object is whether fully opaque or fully transparent based on the alpha threshold. Before we start building the shader, I will just reorganize a bit my windows. Instead of the outliner, I will set a 3D view. Set it, I'm using Eevee and I've enabled Windows. This tutorial is sponsored by myself. If you want to learn all my rigging technique or if you want to create stylized character from scratch, you will find all you need on my Gumroad page. Use the code P2Design and get 10% on whatever product you want. The first thing we want to create is a
Someone messaged me on Discord. Oh no, Slick just went live. That's all it was. So it says it works with anything, so I actually never finished this. No, not that one. I never actually finished Shinobu Sword. Oh lord, it's all choppy and shit. So let me I thought maybe trying to make the blade a little sharper. Oh, this is being a little difficult. Mm. Okay, so the blade. Me just randomly bringing up a fucking model I never finished. I streamed making this one before. So let me move those up too. GC. Just kind of want to fix this. Oh, that is definitely wonky. What the hell did I just do? It's more of a rape here, so. Uh, Hold up. How do I add a sharp curve? Oh, come on. I did this with... I've made a sword before. I know how to do this. I just... You know what? I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna... Um... I have to apply all these modifiers, then join them. Okay, there we go. Now I can go back to that one tutorial.
Building the shader, I will just reorganize a bit my windows. Instead of the outliner, I will set a 3D view, set it to preview rendering. In the render mode, I'm using Eevee and I've to build because they are. Give it a more classic look by pushing the metallic value.
Oops. Ah, I'm making too many. There you go.
Value to 1 and giving it a dark gray. I will also reduce a bit the roughness so that I have sharper reflections. Note that I'm in preview mode and we can access the default HDRI using the drop-down menu. And to be able to use transparency on our object, we do need to modify the blending mode of the material. In the Properties panel, under the Material setting, I will go into Blend mode and
Oh, in settings.
switch from Opaque to Alpha Clip. Using this blend mode, our object is whether fully opaque or fully transparent based on the alpha threshold. Before we start building the shader, I will just reorganize a bit my windows. Instead of the outliner, I will set a 3D view, set it to preview rendering. In the render mode, I'm using Eevee and I've enabled the ambient occlusion, the bloom and the screen space reflections. From there, I can collapse the left window so that I have more room for my shader editor. This tutorial is sponsored by myself. If you want to learn all my rigging technique or if your key to create is a simple gradient that goes along the whole sword. With the principal shader selected and the Node Wrangler add-on enabled by default, I will press Ctrl T. It will automatically create me a full texture setup, but we won't be using any image texture, so I get rid of the node, and I won't be using the UV in this example, but the generated coordinates. Then I will add a texture, gradient texture set to linear, and that goes along the whole sword. With the principal shader selected and the Node Wrangler add-on enabled by default, I will press Ctrl T. It will automatically create me a full texture setup, but we won't be using any image texture, so I get rid of the node, and I won't be using...
Okay, I had to do this for that one because I do not have that add-on. So it is a mapping. Vector mapping and put it in the vector and then
the UV in this example, but the generated coordinates. Then I will add a texture, gradient texture set to linear, and I will rotate it on the y-axis by 90 degrees to get the gradient to run on the length of the sword. I in this create me a full texture setup, but we won't be using any image texture, so I get rid of the node, and I won't be using the UV in this example, but the generated coordinates. Then I will add a texture, gradient texture set to linear, and I will rotate it on the y-axis by 90 degrees to get the gradient to run on the length of the sword. I can now press Shift A and add a converter color ramp to be able to play with this gradient and plug in the color into the alpha channel of the principal BSDF. Now you can see as I play with the white value, part of the sword is getting transparent. Any value under 0.5 become transparent.
this a little over, and this will go into the alpha.
Transparent, so any darker gray than 0.5 is transparency. So let's now bring some details into this dissolve effect. I will press Shift A and add a noise ramp to be able to play with this gradient and plug in the color into the alpha channel of the principal BSDF. Now you can see as I play with the white value, part of the sword is getting transparent. Any value under 0.5 become transparent, so any darker gray than 0.5 is transparency. So let's now bring some details into this dissolve effect. I will press Shift A and add a noise texture.
I feel like I messed something up here. Because I don't even see mine when I'm a little, you know, I'm
then
just gonna go all the way
select the mapping node.
Oh, I put the rotation on the wrong thing. That's probably why. Good to know.
And press Ctrl Shift D to duplicate it and
Add a Noise texture.
Effect. I will press Shift A and add a noise texture. I will then select the mapping node and press Ctrl Shift D to duplicate it and keeping it connected to the texture coordinate mapping node and press noise texture. It and keeping it connected to the texture coordinates node. I've used a new mapping node so that we can play a bit on the scale of the texture on the length of the sword. This depends on the shape of the sword you are working on, as the generated coordinates use the bounding box of the object to project the texture. Hence, it's a bit stretched on this very long model. To mix this noise texture, I will add a color mix RGB, and I will plug in my gradient and my noise and switch to soft light. Texture, use the bounding.
I kind of wish he would show like where exactly it's going over here, because I feel like I... Maybe he is in the volume. Oh, I'll see. Oh, that's a interesting effect. So I don't know.
Box of the object to project the texture. Hence, it's a bit stretched on this very long model. To mix this noise texture, I will add a color mix RGB, and I will plug in my gradient and my noise and switch to soft light and push the factor
Just to soft light.
to 1. I can now use the output to plug in my gradient and my noise and switch to soft light and push the factor to 1. I can now use the output of this mix color to drive the color ramp, and as you can see, if I play with the contrast of this color ramp, I still get darker values on the handle of the sword, so we keep the directionality of our gradient.
It's just I'm confused about something. No, I mean about like these trees getting a little complicated.
Plus the interesting pattern of the noise. So I can now plug in the color ramp into the alpha input of the print.
Okay, so delete that. I'll quit that, so... Okay, so this color is going into color 2. This one's... So the factorial goes into the color 1, and this color goes into color 2, and this goes into the alpha, and then this goes into the surface. Okay, I think I got it.
BSDF, and we will get the dissolve effect onto the sword. If we now zoom in a bit onto the sword, we can see that our noise is pretty rounded. So we can increase the detail level and play a bit with the roughness to get something a little more interesting. This is very subjective, so just play with the value to fit the style you want to get. The problem using a color ramp is that
He had the whole tree up so I can make sure this is all correct. So that's there, that. Okay, so 90, 90. It's funny, I have a few sword tutorials, so like, well, not tutorials per se, whatchamacallit, courses. I actually have 2 sword making courses. Or was it 3? It was 2 or 3. No, okay. Correction. It's 3, but one of them is done, which I've shown that one off before. But I have 2 other ones that are unfinished. I can't stream that because I will get in Mondo trouble, and I don't want to get in Mondo trouble. I am a good boy.
using a color ramp is
So yeah, he went gray, white. Is this
using a color ramp is that we play with black to white color and we can't see our whole sword. To be able to do so, I need to change the color input of the black flag. But this is not a property that's gonna be very easy to expose and to later animate the effect. A more flexible and commonly used node for this kind of effect is the map range node that we can find in the convert.
okay, so I guess we just delete that. Okay. Let's see, so texture. No. Map range, boom.
Because it allows us to manipulate the range of the output as on the color ramp, but also of the input. So the first step is to manipulate the minimum value that will be output. So the 2 minimum
we did
values,
this on the
and set it to 0.45 so that we entirely see our sword. This value may vary a bit, but it should be close to 0.5, which is the threshold of our transparency. It now means that for an input value that goes from 0 to 1, basically a black and white value, we will output a value that goes from 0.45 to 1. So a light gray to a full white. This is why our sword is fully opaque. But if I now push the minimum input, it means that the minimum input is getting higher to get to this 0.45 threshold. Hence, we recover a bit of transparency, and our dissolve effect is back on track. Let's now add a bit of magic to it. The trick is simply to add a color ramp that will allow us to drive the emission of our principal BSDF shader. And we will make the edge of the transparent area becoming shiny as embers. We can simply add a color ramp and plug it in to drive the emission of our principal BSDF shader. And we will make the edge of
So Shift A, converter, color ramp.
of the
Or color
transparent
ramps, yeah.
area becoming shiny as embers. We can simply add a color ramp and plug it into the emission strength. And the trick is to inverse the color ramp so that the dark area won't be emissive, but the area close to the zero value that become white because we have inverted it will become emissive. I will change the color of the emission to red, will become to the zero, becoming will be a color ramp that will allow
There's something that gets added there,
us
but
to drive
he's not
a
showing what the
color
fuck it
ramp
is.
so that the dark area won't be emissive, but the area close to the zero value that become white because we have inverted it will become emissive. I will change the color of the emission to red and Ctrl-Shift-click the principal BSDF. Now I can play with the position of the color ramp flag to get thinner effect. So now we have our basic effect and we can work on the emission color, but also the emission strength. Color of the emission to red. And Ctrl-Shift-click the principal BSDF. Now I can play with the position of the color ramp flag to get thinner effect. So now we have our basic effect and we can work on the emission color, but also the emission strength to get a more interesting result. Let's now duplicate the color ramp so that we can change the color of the emission. I will plug in the previous color ramp and I will switch the color to a red to yellowish orangey color. This will drive the emission color of our principal.
Okay, so I'm okay. So upload that. So, and then this can go in the alpha. Okay, so it's connected. Those two. Oh yeah. It's connected to the emission strength. This is connected to that. Okay. Change the color to orange, and then change this color to yellow. Yellow! Pink!
BSDF. From there, to be able to dial the strength of the emission, I will add a converter math node set to multiply.
I don't see that. Hold up. What did he add?
I will add
I'm
a
lost.
converter
I'm lost shot.
math node set.
Oh, a math node.
to multiply, and I will plug it between our color ramp and the emission strength. I will push the strength to 20 for example, and I can now play with my map range node to see the effect. You can then play with the different color ramp with the for example, and I can now play
Okay.
with my
Make sure
map
these are all
range
connected to
node
right
to see
shit.
the effect. You can then play with the different color ramp with the value of the multiply node to set the effect to your taste. What I'm doing now is adding reroutes node that you can find in the layout when pressing Shift A to make my node tree a little cleaner. Now to get a better access to the different input we want to play with on this shader, I will add 2 input values. You can rename those nodes by going into the item menu and change the label. You can also change their background color by clicking the color option and selecting a new color. I will plug the value node called strength into the second multiply socket, and I will plug the value node called dissolve into the from minimum input of the map range node. We can now
Oh my lord, this. Oh, these. I want to clean up this tree. This tree's a cluster fuck and a half. There we go.
add 2 input values. You can rename those nodes by going into the item menu and change the label. You can also change their background color by clicking the color option and selecting a new color. I will plug the value node called strength into the second multiply socket, and I will
Where do you plug it in? Fuck.
strength into the second multiply socket, and I will plug the value node called dissolve in
I got 2 S's.
to the from minimum input of the map range node. We can now play with the dissolve value, and our effect is finally done. With the shader built, I've imported a former model I've created. I will select the source model that have the dissolve effect, select all the nodes, press Ctrl C to copy them. Then I will select the shield model I've created previously, press Ctrl V to paste my node setup, and I will just plug in the alpha channel in the alpha channel, emission in emission, and emission strength in emission strength. Then don't forget to convert your shader to alpha clip. And now, by playing with the dissolve value, I get exactly the same effect as on the salt. I will need to play a bit on the color ramp value, maybe on the color of my emission, but as you can see, it's flexible and we get the famous dissolve effect. This is the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.
Interesting. That was. I mean, that's kind of cool. I made a really interesting dissolve effect, so I'll close that. Do I make the bear cupcake next, or do I make the cute little cat in the cup cafe? What do you guys think? The cat or the bear? I was just checking to see my order. Bear seems easier. Okay. Okay, so save as let's see. Models, new folder. Bear cupcake. Bear cupcake. Man, I think I have to put underscore. There we go. Okay, so we'll do the bear. Funny thing is about this video, it's fully in Korean, but like the subtitles for it is in like closed caption, so things like
우선 큐브를 준비를 해주세요. 이 큐브를 변형을 시켜서 이 곰돌이
okay. I feel like we've listened to this playlist a while. Let's turn that down. So
얼굴로 만들어주도록
I'll be right back. I'm gonna stretch my legs for a second. And I get a drink. Oh man. I'm on my computer for most of the day. Besides getting my car and other shit. I'll be back. I have returned from parts unknown. So how's it going? Uh, I'll turn shuffle on. 'Cause I really like this song, so I really want to see it.
하겠습니다. 이 곰돌이 얼굴과 같이 동글동글한 형태로 변형을 시켜보도록 하겠습니다.
Thank you.
이 큐브를 선택을 해주고요. 그리고 모디파이어에서 सब디비전 표면을 눌러줍니다. 그러면 형태가 이렇게 동글동글해졌죠. 면이 분할되어서 이렇게 동글동글해진 겁니다. 우선은 이 모디파이어 같은 경우엔 이제 सब디비전을 자동으로 해주는 기능이고요. 그리고 여기서 이제 추가로 더 수정을 해주기 위해서는 에디트 모드로 들어가 주어야 됩니다. 지금 같은 경우에는 오브젝트 모드고요. 이 오브젝트 모드에서는 세부적인 수정을 할 수는 없습니다. 그래서 에디트 모드로 들어가서 수정을 해볼 거예요. 자, 탭을 눌러서 에디트 모드로 이렇게
I think it's kind of funny because I feel like if I learned Korean, it would be a very useful skill because we get a lot of people from Korea here, like because of the military stuff. And it would just be like, and like my dad actually understands a lot of Korean. Like he can't speak it, but he understands it. Like he can speak a few words, but he can listen to someone talking to him in Korean and understand what he's saying because what him or her are saying that because he was stationed at Korea for like 4 years in total because of the army. So they work on a military base. So it's interesting.
들어가 주시고요. 이제 우리가 사용했던 सब디비전 같은 경우에는 이렇게 남아있게 되면은 시뮬레이션만 되는 상태입니다.
Use it for
그리고
means like
지금
this.
여기 형태를
It's only
보시면
simulated if
이렇게
you look
주황
at the
색깔
shape.
같은 경우에는 원래 우리가 처음에 작업했던
she's
큐브의
explaining it.
형태가
That's
이렇게
cute.
남아있는 거고요. 여기 안쪽 같은 경우에는 सब디비전 된 큐브의 형태가 이렇게 보여지게 됩니다. 그래서 सब디비전 된 온전한 형태로 보고 싶으시다면 여기 온케이지 버튼을 눌러주세요. 온케이지 버튼 눌러주시고 그 다음에 다시 다시 오브젝트 모드로 나가서 적용을 시켜줄 거예요. 에디트 모드에서는 적용이 되지 않고 시뮬레이션만 됩니다. 자, 이렇게 탭 눌러서 오브젝트 모드로 나가주시고요. 그리고 이 सब디비전 여기에다가 이렇게 커서를 대시고 컨트롤 A를 눌러주시면 됩니다. 그러면 다시 탭 에디트 모드로 들어가게 되면 이렇게 형태가 적용이 되었습니다. सब디비전 1단계가 적용이 되었습니다. 그리고 나서 이제 작업을 조금 더 쉽게 하기 위해서 미러를 적용을 시켜줄 건데요. 미러 같은 경우에는 이렇게 정면에서 봤을 때 미러를 적용시키기 위해서 저는 여기 요만큼을 삭제를 해줄 거예요. 근데 이렇게 뒤쪽을 보게 되면은 잡히지 않죠? 다시 정면 뷰로 가서 Alt Z를 눌러서 엑스레이 뷰로 봐주신 다음에
You're just
클릭
talking about wireframe
드래그로
mode. It's been a fun stream, but now it's time for bed. But interesting watching the learning process of 3K. Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Gemini. I hope you have a good night. Make good choices. And hopefully I'll be just doing my own stuff in the future. I hope to try to do more of these. But I'm glad you enjoyed it. It makes me happy.
이렇게 선택을 해주고요. 그러면 볼게요. 뒤쪽까지 이렇게 선택이 되었습니다. 그 다음에 이렇게 선택이 잘 되었으니까 삭제를 해볼게요. X 누르면 이렇게 삭제에 해당하는 탭들이 뜨게 되는데 지금 같은 경우에는 여기 이렇게 면을 삭제해주면 되겠죠. 이렇게 점까지 삭제를 해주면 이 점이 삭제가 되면서 여기까지 이렇게 다 날아가게 돼요. 이렇게 다 날아가게 되기 때문에 이렇게 딱 면만 삭제를 하도록 하겠습니다. X 페이스를 눌러주시면 이렇게 내가 원하는 그 부분만 삭제가 됐죠. 그 다음에 이렇게 반쪽이 날아갔기 때문에 이제 모디파이어 미러를 했을 때
Okay, I'm a little confused at this part.
있습니다. X 페이스
Okay, so X. Okay, that's okay.
눌러주시면 이렇게 내가
That's
원하는
what she was doing.
그 부분만 삭제가 됐죠. 그 다음에 이렇게 반쪽이 날아갔기 때문에 이제 모디파이어 미러를 했을 때
And the mirror
이렇게
modifier.
미러가 적용이 됩니다. 그리고 미러 같은 경우에도 여기에 온케이지 버튼을 켜주시면은 아까 우리가 삭제하기 전과 동일한 형태로 작업을 할 수가 있습니다. 이렇게 미러가 적용이 되면 이런 식으로 한쪽만 형태를 변형을 해도 양쪽이 미러가 적용이 돼서 같이 형태가 변형이 됩니다. 자, 그 다음에 Alt Z 눌러서 다시 엑스레이 뷰를 꺼주시고요.
You can also hold Z to go to wireframe.
미러는
That's wireframe is X-ray
이렇게
form is what she's saying.
계속 미러가 시뮬레이션이 돼야 되는 상황이기 때문에 적용을 시키지 않고 여기에 그냥 띄워두도록 하겠습니다. 여기 이 탭에 존재하는 모디파이어들은 다 계속 시뮬레이션이 진행이 되는
Is there all the modifier
탭이고요.
tabs she's talking
여기서
about?
적용을 눌러주시면 거기서 이제 적용이 되고 시뮬레이션이 더 이상 되지 않습니다. 자, 이제 탭 오브젝트 모드로 가주시고요. 그 다음에 이 형태를 조금 더 이 동글동글한 형태와 가깝게 만들어 보도록 하겠습니다. 먼저 여기 보시면 밑에 부분이 약간 평평한 그런 느낌이 나죠. 자, 저는 여기 밑에 부분을 이렇게 잘라서 형태를 조금 만져줬거든요. 그래서 우선은 지금은 점 선택 모드입니다. 여기서도 확인을 할 수가 있는데 에디트 모드 옆에 점, 선, 면이 이렇게 각각 모드가 있습니다. 점을 선택했을 때 여기 뷰포트의 오브젝트를 봐주시고요. 그리고 선을 선택했을 때 그리고 면을 선택했을 때 이렇게 봐주시면 됩니다. 자, 그리고 지금은 이렇게 면을 삭제할 거기 때문에 3번 그리고 여기 면을 선택을 할 때도 1번 버텍스 숫자 1번입니다. 2번 모서리 그리고 3번 면입니다. 이렇게 3번 면을 눌러가지고
Like one's like she's saying like one is the vertice like in the number section on top of your keyboard. Like 1 is for vertices, 2 is for edges, 3 is for faces.
해줄 겁니다. 그리고 삭제를 해줄 거예요.
She's gonna delete it.
이 면을 X를 눌러서 이렇게 삭제를 해주시고요. 그리고 2번 모서리 선택을 눌러서 이 모서리를 아래로 이렇게 쭉 내려줄 거예요. 자, 그리고 이 모서리는 클릭을 하면은 이렇게 하나하나가 잡히게 되는데요. 지금은 미러가 적용이 되어 있기 때문에 여기만 잡아도 여기 양쪽이 이렇게 다 잡히게 됩니다. 그래서 이 모서리들을 한 번에 선택을 해주는 기능이 있는데 루프로 선택하는 기능입니다.
Yeah,
루프
if you hold
선택이라는
Alt click, you
기능인데
can select the whole ring. Is
이
what she's saying.
기능은
It's a loop
Alt를
selection
누르고
tool.
루프로 선택하고 싶은 이 부분에 어떤 한 모서리만 이렇게 선택을 해도 루프로 선택이 되게 됩니다. 그래서 이렇게 Alt 클릭, Alt 모서리 클릭을 하면은 이렇게 모서리로 루프로 선택이 되게 됩니다. 자, 이렇게 루프로 선택된 이 메쉬를, 이 부분을, 모서리를 G, 자, 이것도 설명을 드릴게요. 이렇게 선택을 하고
I really like her tutorial, like, because she's going through instead of just like, because the other 2 or 3 I did felt like they just kind of just did shit and I had to like figure out what they were doing because they were doing it super fast. But she is concisely going over each thing and it's just like, oh, hey, like explaining each detail of what this does. So that way, like, because I already know this, some of this, but like, because like, you know, like, if I want to go to front view, like this is like the normal user perspective. If I hit numpad 1, I go to front, 3 for right, and 7 for top. Like if you have a numpad. But like she was going through like, you know, oh, select this edge, but you want to hold it. But say if you wanted to hold like you could do it in 2 ways, like select this whole loop edge, which is like this line in the center. You can either hold shift left click and select it all the way around like that, but if you want to just do it fast, just hold alt left click, boom, selects the whole fucking thing. But I like that she's going through explaining this. This is one thing I really like about tutorials.
위치를 바꾸고 싶을 때는 그랩의 약자인 G를 눌러서 Z축으로 G와 알파벳 Z를 순서대로
G is the move tool,
눌러주면은
so it lets you move
이런
this shit
식으로
around.
Z축으로
Oh, let me undo that.
이렇게 쭉 내려줄 수가 있습니다.
But if you hit GZ, it goes this.
이렇게
You can make it go down or
쭉 내려주고요.
Guess there's good.
그다음에 이제 여기서 지금 너무 딱딱하기 때문에 모디파이어에서 아까 우리가 추가했던 서브디비전 표면을 한 번 더 추가를 해주고
All right, another subdivision modifier.
온케이지 버튼을 눌러줄 거예요. 자, 다시 G.
Now this I did not know, like, because I thought the cage was always there, but apparently this option disables. So I learned something very valuable here.
Z로 이렇게 쭉 눌려주고 그 다음에 아랫부분도 루프 선택을 해주도록 하겠습니다. 조금 조여주려고 해요. 구멍이 너무 크기 때문에 Alt 밑에 선을 루프로 잡아야 되기 때문에 Alt 클릭 하면은 요렇게 밑에 분도 선택이 루프로 됩니다.
Select the-
그리고
Huh.
사이즈를 줄여줘야 되기
So
때문에
she's gonna scale it? To reduce the size?
스케일에 해당하는
Yep.
단축키인 S를 눌러서 S 눌러서
boy.
이렇게 조여줄 건데요. 지금 같은 현상이 나타난 이유는 다시 컨트롤 Z에서 언두 해주시고 여기 미러에 보시면 클리핑이라는 게 있어요. 이 클리핑을 체크를 해주시고 다시
Oh, we gotta check the clipping
S.
and then scale.
이렇게 스케일을 줄여줍니다. 이렇게 줄여줄 거예요. S 스케일. 그런데 지금 보면은 이게 균일하게 줄어들지가 않아요. 그래서 이 피벗 포인트를 평균 포인트로 혹은 3D 커서로
3D cursor. This is just like telling it how to scale,
Okay.
basically. That way it's a little more even.
3D 커서로 해주면 되겠네요. 3D 커서로 피벗 포인트를 바꿔주고 그 다음에 S 눌러서 이렇게 형태를
Oh, I actually got it coming.
줄여줍니다. 7번 정면 뷰로 봐주시고요. 그러면 약간 밑에 부분이 약간 제일 넓은 좀 뭐라고 해야 되나? 만두 같은 형태가 이렇게 나오게 됩니다. 그래서 저는 귀여움을 위해서 밑에 부분을 조금 더 큼직하게 넓어지는 형태로 통통하게 만들었습니다.
Make it a little bigger and plump to make it cute. I like
이렇게
that.
만들어주고 그 다음에 여기 구멍이 난 부분은 채워줄 거예요. 자,
Okay, F to fill.
필페이스라는
Boom.
기능이 있는데요. 알파벳 F를 눌러주시면 내가 선택한 이 부분이 F를 누르는 순간 필페이스가 됩니다. 자, 이렇게 이제 형태를 잘 만들어
You
주셨고요.
made it so well.
그 다음에 여기서 이제 सब디비전이 1단계가 이제 시뮬레이션 되고 있는데 단계를 올리면 올릴수록 조금 더 면이 분할이 되면서 부드러워진 형태로 보여지게 됩니다. 그래서 우선은 저는 3단계까지
We're just
Okay.
increasing the subdivision to make it more
형태를
polygons and smoother.
만들어 줄 거고요. 근데 지금 보면은 여기 밑에 부분이 너무 납작하기 때문에 밑에 부분 지금 선택이 되어
Lower
있죠.
part is
이 상태에서
too flat.
위치를 조금
Oh, no.
아래로 내려줄 거예요. 그러면 위치는 그랩의 약자인 G라 그랬었죠? G, Z축으로 이렇게 조금만 내려줍니다. 네, 잘 되었고 그 다음에 루프로 선택을 해주고 G, Z축으로 이렇게 조금만 더 올려주고
Wait.
그 다음에 줍니다. 네, 잘 되었고 그 다음에
I feel like it needs to go a tiny bit lower on mine. There you go, and then
루프로
Grabs that
선택을
loop.
해주고 G, Z축으로 이렇게 조금만 더 올려줬어요. 이제 동글동글하고 방실방실한 형태가 되었습니다. 이제 여기서 지금 면이 좀 쪼개졌는데 아직도 이렇게 폴리곤 결이 보이게 돼요. 이 폴리곤 결은 선택하고 마우스 오른쪽 버튼
you're
눌러서
gonna shade
쉐이드
smooth it?
스무스를 주시면 됩니다.
She did shade
혹시라도
smooth.
지금 오브젝트 모드가 아닌 에디트 모드에서 작업을 하시게 되면은 없어요. 쉐이드 스무스가. 그래서 탭으로 해서 오브젝트 모드로 나가서 마우스 오른쪽 버튼 눌러서 쉐이드 스무스를 이렇게 주면은 매끈매끈한 형태로 보여지게 됩니다.
Front view. Now I'm starting to doubt if this is Korean. Like maybe it's Japanese, but I thought it was Korean, but I could be wrong. Now I'm having doubts. It's Korean? Okay, so I was right. I don't know why I started feeling like doubt. Doubt is a brain. I'm so glad. Like when I first found this tutorial like a month or two ago and just added to my massive collection of tabs to tutorials to do in the future, I like got so sad because I was like, oh yay, hit play, and I'm like, oh no, I don't understand what she's saying, and then I was like, but then CC, and I'm like, oh, she puts English subtitles. Bless this kind soul. Dude, her tutorial is fucking amazing. I love it.
형태가 완성되었습니다. 그리고 여기서 이제 귀를 달고요. 그리고
She's
눈,
gonna put the ear.
코, 입 이렇게도 만들어 줄 건데요. 우선은 이 얼굴의 형태가 지금 보시면 X축과 Y축 그리고 Z축의 가운데에 이렇게 놓여 있게 되는데요. 오브젝트를 조금만 위로
Here's a helpful tip. Korean characters will look square and have circles.
올려보고
Oh.
그리고 여기 가운데 있는 이 노란 색깔 오리진 포인트는 커서의 가운데에 그냥 남아있게끔 그렇게 위치를 수정을 해줄 겁니다. 이 오리진 포인트가 움직이지 않도록 형태를 수정을 해줄 때는 탭 눌러서 에디트 모드로 들어가 주시면 됩니다. 그리고 A를 눌러서 모두 선택을 해주시고요. 그리고 위치를 옮겨내니까 G, Z축으로 이렇게 올려주시면 되겠습니다. 이렇게 오리진 포인트가 여기.
No, why'd you go into edit mode for that? G-A or tab A, G, Z, and then... Damn, I got that pretty close.
아래쪽에 위치를 하도록 이렇게 옮겨주었습니다. 자, 그리고 이 커서는 지금 정중앙에 있습니다. X축, Y축, Z축에 0점에 있는 상태인데요. 이 커서를 기준으로 오브젝트가 생성이 됩니다. 그래서 이 커서를 우선 옮겨줄 거예요. 먼저 귀부터 한번 만들어 보도록 할 건데요. 이 귀는 있는 상태 중앙에 있습니다. X축 지금 정하도록 이렇게 옮겨주었습니다. 자, 그리고 이 커서는 지금 정중앙에 있습니다. X축, Y축, Z축에 0점에 있는 상태인데요. 이 커서를 기준으로 오브젝트가 생성이 됩니다. 그래서 이 커서를 우선 옮겨줄 거예요. 먼저 귀부터 한번 만들어 보도록 할 건데요. 이 귀는 커서를 옮겨줄 때 그냥 커서를 이렇게 갖다 놔도 되지만 그 방법 말고 이 오브젝트에서 어떤 기준을 잡고 거기로 딱 달라붙게끔 하는 방법을 한번 사용을 해보겠습니다. 오브젝트 선택을 해주시고 탭을 눌러주세요. 그리고 에디트 모드에서 여기에 이 엣지에 딱 달라붙게 가운데에 달라붙게끔 커서를 조절을 해보도록 하겠습니다. 여기서 Shift S를 눌러줍니다. Shift S를 누르면 커서에 해당하는 옵션들이 이렇게 쫙 뜨게 되고요. 쓸 때 적절한 이 옵션이 커서를 활성의 스냅이겠죠? 활성이 되어 있는데 스냅이 되는 겁니다. 커서가. 선택을 해줄게요. 그러면 이렇게 커서가 달라붙게 되죠. 자, 이 상태에서 지금 이 에디트 모드는 이 얼굴 오브젝트의 에디트 모드이고요. 그 다음에 우리는 새로운 귀 오브젝트를 생성을 할 거기 때문에 이 이 에디트 모드에서 밖으로 나가서 오브젝트 모드에서 Shift A로 메쉬를 추가를 해서 조형을 해줄 겁니다. 자, 평면 꺼내주시고요. 이 평면은 N키를 누르면 이렇게
So you're gonna
위치,
rotate it 90
회전,
degrees on one of the
내비게이션이
axes?
나옵니다.
I'm guessing the y-axis or
회전율을
the z?
X축으로
No, x. I guess.
90 입력을 해서
Boom.
입력을 해주면 이런 식으로 이렇게 90도로 회전을 하게 되고요. S 스케일로 이렇게 사이즈를 줄여주고 모디파이어 미러를 해서 스포이드로 오브젝트를 찍어줍니다. 그 다음에 여기에 सब디비전 표면을 추가를 해주고요. 그 다음에 탭 에디트
Oh, this got little cute ears.
모드에 들어가서 온케이지 버튼을 켜주시고 이 상태에서 이 면을 이렇게 뽑아내 볼 거예요. 이 면을 뽑아내서 두께를 만들어 줄 겁니다. 자, 면을 뽑아내는 단축키는 익스트루드의 약자인 알파벳 E를 눌러줍니다. 이를 누르면 이렇게 자동적으로 축이 형성이 돼요. 그래서 내가 원하는 만큼 두께로 이렇게 뽑아내 주시면 돼요. 이렇게. 그리고 A로 모두 선택한 다음에 위치를 여기
Okay.
면을 뽑아내는
Alright, so then she
단축키는
E to
익스트루드의 약자인 알파벳 E를 눌러줍니다. 이를 누르면 이렇게 자동적으로 축이 형성이 돼요. 그래서 내가 원하는 만큼 두께로 이렇게 뽑아내 주시면 돼요. 이렇게.
I think this is good.
그리고 A로 모두 선택한 다음에 위치를 여기 이 커서의 가운데로 옮겨줄 겁니다. G, Y축이겠죠? 깊이니까. Y축으로 이렇게 옮겨주시고 그리고 G로 전체적으로 이렇게 아니다. 요거 말고 탭 오브젝트로 나가서 이렇게 전체적으로 형태를 이렇게 조금 더 형태와
I guess now it's like we're kind of eyeballing it.
크기를 위치와 크기를 이렇게 수정을 해주셔도 됩니다. 저는 귀를 조금 더 크게 만들어 줄 거예요.
Maybe not that big. There we go. Yeah, I'm getting some big old ears.
이렇게 만들어 주시고
I liked it. Guess then we're gonna increase the subdivision modifier a bit.
자, 그 다음에 다시 에디트 모드에 들어가서 이번에는 3번 면 선택 그리고 여기 정면에 있는 면을 선택을 해주시고, 그리고 이 면에서 면을 나오게 해서 형태를 만들어 보도록 할게요. I를 눌러주시면 면이 하나가 더 이렇게 추가가 됩니다.
Oh, I the inset.
그래서
Okay. We're
면을
gonna make the inner part of the ear, I guess.
추가를 해줬고, 그 다음에 여기서 익스트루드를 알파벳 2를 눌러서 익스트루드를 해주시는데, 이번에는 뒤쪽으로 이렇게 보내봅니다. 그리고
Look at it, so
S,
cute.
지금 커서에 피벗 포인트가 잡혀 있는데, 이거를 개별 오리진으로 바꿔주시고 S로 이렇게 사이즈를 줄여줄게요. 그리고 I를 눌러서 하나 더 추가를 해주시고, 그리고
Wait,
G
I need to back
그리고
up just a slight bit.
줄여줄게요. 그리고 I를 눌러서 하나 더 추가를 해주시고, 그리고 G Y축으로 사이즈
Wait.
이렇게 귀 안쪽에 요
Yeah, I feel like the inner part of my ears are a little small, so I'm gonna scale this up a bit. There we go. I think that's good.
혹 페인 부분도 조형을 했습니다.
Oh, what the?
자, 오브젝트 모드로 나가서 마우스 오른쪽 버튼 쉐이드 스무스를 줍니다. 그리고 सब디비전을 1단계인데 2단계로 3단계로 이렇게 더 주시면 매끄럽게 되고요. 여기서 이 안쪽에 있는 애를 조금 더 키워보도록 하겠습니다. 사진과 같이. 지금 선택이 이렇게 되어 있는데 여기서 이 안쪽에 맞닿아 있는 면까지 이렇게 루프로 복수로 선택을 할 겁니다. 그래서 복수 선택은 Shift인데 루프 선택은 Alt 누르고 클릭이라 그랬잖아요. 그래서 Shift, Alt, 클릭을 하면은
Why does it keep taking me there? I don't want to go to. Oh.
복수 루프 선택입니다. 자, 그 다음에 S 사이즈 좀 늘려주고 이런 식으로 사이즈도 확장을 했습니다. 지금 미러가 적용되어 있기 때문에 한쪽만 잡고 옮겨도 양쪽이 다 적용이 됩니다.
Wait, what?
됩니다.
guessing.
곰돌이 얼굴 부분을 잡고 탭
Okay, so she was just
Edit
showing what we were
모드로
gonna be doing next. Okay, I was confused. I was like, please don't tell me you did the like. Oh no, I got scared. Oh my god, it's almost fucking midnight.
곰돌이 얼굴 부분을 잡고 탭 에디트 모드로 가줍니다. 이제 커서는 곰돌이 눈이 저는 한 여기 아래쪽 정도에 달렸으면 좋겠어서 2번 엣지 선택 눌러서 여기 정도 이 엣지를 잡아주고 여기에다가 Shift S로 여기 3번 커서를 활성해 스냅 아까 귀에 썼던 거 다시 한번 써주고
Okay, I see what she's doing. No, I'm not.
여기에 이제 이렇게 달리게 됐고요. 근데 너무 좀 많이 빗나가서 커서를 직접 한번 내가 원하는 위치에다가 붙여보도록 하겠습니다. 지금 그러면은 방금 썼던 기능은 필요가 없으니까 다시 탭해서 오브젝트 모드로 나와주시고 그 다음에 커서를 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 Shift 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 커서를 옮겨주시면 돼요. 7번 정면 선택 그리고 눈을 붙이고 싶은 자리에다가 Shift 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 커서를 옮겨주시고 그 다음에 Shift A로 이번에도 평면 꺼내고 X 90 입력하고 사이즈 좀 줄여줄게요. 이렇게 사이즈 줄여주시고 또 그리고 Shift 주시고 그 다음에 커서를 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 Shift 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 커서를 옮겨주시면 돼요. 7번 정면 선택 여기에다가 Shift S로 여기 3번 커서를 활성해 스냅 아까 귀에 썼던 거 다시 한번 써주고 여기에 이제 이렇게 달리게 됐고요. 근데 너무
Deviated a bit too much.
많이 빗나가서
So
커서를 직접 한번 내가 원하는 위치에다가 붙여보도록 하겠습니다. 지금 그러면은 방금 썼던 기능은 필요가 없으니까 다시 탭해서 오브젝트 모드로 나와주시고 그 다음에 커서를 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 해서
that really fast.
오브젝트 모드로 나와주시고 그 다음에 커서를 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 Shift 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 커서를
Oh, okay. I can
옮겨주시면
just
돼요.
select the second
7번
option.
정면 선택 선택을 해주고요.
Oh shit!
그러면
I thought I was on the Blender, but I was on YouTube. So when I hit 1, it went to 1 minute mark.
Shift 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 커서를 옮겨주시면 돼요. 7번 정면 선택, 그리고 눈을 붙이고 싶은 자리에다가 Shift 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 커서를 옮겨주시고, 그 다음에 Shift A로 이번에도 평면 꺼내고 X 90 입력하고 사이즈 좀 줄여줄게요. 이렇게 사이즈 줄여주시고 탭 모디파이어 सब디비전 표면 추가, 그리고 알파벳 E 눌러서 익스트루드 해줍니다. 단계 추가해 주시고, 그리고 마우스 오른쪽 버튼 쉐이드 스무스 단계 한 번 더. 요렇게. 그리고 뷰 탭에서 이번에는 탑 뷰로 봐주시고요. 눈 잡아주시고요. R 눌러서 로테이트를 해줍니다. 그리고 G, Y축으로 조금만 넣어주시고요. 그리고 다시 정면 뷰. 자, 이렇게 눈이 자리를 잡게 됐고요. S로 사이즈 조금 늘려주시고, 그 다음에 양쪽에 이렇게 눈이 위치를 하면 되니까 모디파이어에서 미러를 추가를 해주시는데, 지금 같은 경우에는 미러가 여기에 이렇게 겹쳐져 있는 상태거든요. 그래서 기준점을 이 얼굴을 이렇게 찍어주시면 기준 오브젝트를 기준으로 이렇게 눈이 위치하게 됩니다. 자, 이렇게 귀엽게 눈이 달렸고요. 자, 이번에는 커서를 여기 가운데다가 이렇게 위치를 시키고 싶어요. 이번에는 1번 점 선택, 여기 점 선택해주고 Shift S, 3번 커서를 활성해 스냅 눌러주시고, 다시 한번 찍어줄게요. Shift C 이렇게 찍어줬고, 직접 찍는 게 낫겠어요. 자, 커서를 여기 가운데다가 이렇게 위치를 시키고 싶어요. 이번에는 1번 점 선택, 여기 점 선택해주고 Shift S, 3번
Shift S.
커서를 활성해 스냅 눌러주시고, 다시 한번 찍어줄게요. Shift C 이렇게 찍어줬고, 직접 찍는 게 낫겠어요. 자, 여기도 이제 저는 코를 만들 거기 때문에 Shift 탭 오브젝트 가서 Shift A 평면 X축 90 사이즈 सब디비전 옆에로 보고 탭 익스트루드 S 스케일
Oh yeah, mine's way smaller than hers. So make it like that.
조금 뭐라고 해야 되나? 옆으로 이렇게 좀 퍼진 형태가 됐습니다. 여기서 G, Y축으로 이렇게 좀 넣어주시고, 그리고 옆에 뷰 6번으로 R 로테이트였죠? 이제 위치와 크기 그리고 형태를 좀 잡았으니 이제 सब디비전에서 단계 좀 올려주시고 6번으로
No.
R 로테이트였죠? 이제 위치와 크기
I feel like mine needs to be a little taller, so scale on the z-axis a bit, just a bit. Go with that.
그리고
Super cute.
형태를 좀 잡았으니 이제 सब디비전에서 단계 좀 올려주시고 마우스 오른쪽 버튼 쉐이드 스무스를 줍니다. 조금 더 뒤로 넣어줄 거예요. G, Y축으로. 자, 그 다음에 여기서 이제 코 비슷한 형태이기 때문에 여기서 복제를 해서 사용을 한번 해볼 거예요. Shift D를 누른 상태로 커서를 움직이면은 커서가 따라오거든요. 여기서 마우스 오른쪽 버튼 눌러주면은 겹쳐지게 됩니다. 복사된 오브젝트가 겹쳐지게 돼요. 여기서 S를 눌러서 사이즈 줄여주고, 그리고 크기를 우리가 변형을 시켰었으니까 크기를 리셋을 한번 해볼 거예요. Alt S를 눌러주면은 이렇게 크기가 리셋이 되고요. 여기서 다시 스케일로 이렇게 조금 더 줄여줄게요. 안쪽에 들어가 있으니까 G, Y 그리고 크기를 우리가 변형을 시켰었으니까 크기를 리셋을 한번 해볼 거예요. Alt S를 눌러주면은 이렇게 크기가 리셋이 되고요. 여기서 다시 스케일로 이렇게 조금 더 줄여줄게요. 안쪽에 들어가 있으니까 G, Y축으로 이렇게 빼주고요.
I'm just gonna do it a little differently than her.
사이즈 조금만 더.
I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. Make it a little more round. Yeah, look at that. That's so cute. It's so cute.
이런 비율 같은 것들은 여러분들이 원하시는 대로 주시면 됩니다. G, Z축으로 이렇게 위치를 시켜줍니다. 그러면 이렇게 귀엽게 코까지 달려지게 됩니다. 자, 곰돌이 얼굴은 이제 완성이 됐습니다.
GZ. I want to move it down a little. There we go. That's beautiful. That's so cute. That you cannot tell me that's not cute.
여기서
You
이제
can't. If you
지금
can't, then you
뷰포트
lying.
쉐이딩을 보면은 솔리드 모드로 놓고 모델링을 하고 있었는데요. 이 솔리드 모드가 모델링을 할 때는 가장 최적화된 뷰포트 쉐이딩이라고 이제 보시면 되고요. 이제 여기서 뷰포트 쉐이딩에서 스튜디오 매트캡 플랫이 있는데 여기서 이제 선택을 해서 매트캡 그리고 랜덤 이렇게 선택을 하면은 조금 오브젝트들마다 색깔을 다르게 이렇게도 보실 수가 있습니다. 그 옆에 있는 건 매테리얼 쉐이딩이고요. 그리고 옆에는 렌더 리드 쉐이딩입니다. 렌더 리드는 렌더링 될 때 어떻게 보여질지 보실 수가 있고요. 여기 सब디비전도 렌더까지 뷰포트 레벨하고 통일을 시켜주시면 뷰포트에서 보여줬던
I'm glad I
그대로
thought ahead.
렌더링이 됩니다.
Make sure that the render
근데
and
평소에는
the
좀 낮춰주시는 게 좋아요.
shade were all
렉이
the
걸릴
same.
수도 있기 때문에. 그리고 귀 같은 경우에는 지금 조금 더 레벨을 올려주셔도 좋을 것 같습니다.
Oh, we're raising everything a level. Okay, that's a 4, 4, 4, 4.
여기서 이제 완성이 된 건 아니지만 조명을 한번 설치를 해서 보도록 하겠습니다. Shift A를 누르면 추가를 할 수가 있는데 여기서 조명도 추가를 할 수가 있습니다. 라이트에 가서 우선 영역 조명을 꺼내주고요. 그 다음에 G로 옮겨줍니다. 그리고 R, 로테이트로 각도 조절해 주시고요. G, R. 그리고 여기에 기본적으로 꺼내져 있는 이 라이트가 있는데 이 라이트 선택을 해주시고 속성에 가요. 라이트
Is she not gonna show us how to make the strawberries in the cupcake part? Or is that in another part? Is this my only light in the scene? Oh wait, I deleted the original light. Whoops.
이 라이트 선택을 해주시고 속성에 가요. 라이트 전구 모양 아이콘이 있는데요. 여기 선택해 주시고 그 다음에 이게 지금 포인트 라이트로 되어 있어요. 이 포인트 라이트 말고 태양으로 이렇게 바꿔줍니다. 강도가 지금 1000인데 강도를 한 7 정도로 이렇게 줍니다. 이게 태양 조명인데요. 태양과 거의 흡사한 성질을 가지고 있고요. 전체 조명이라고 생각하시면 됩니다. 전체적으로 이렇게 밝기가 밝아지는 효과가 있습니다. 이렇게 해주시고 강도를 조금 더 올려주셔도 되고요.
Yes.
그리고 이번에는 부분 조명 선택을 해주시고요. 이렇게 부분적으로 조명을 비출 수가 있습니다. 파워가 지금 10이었는데 조금 파워를 올려보도록 할게요. 파워를 올려주시고 그리고 컬러도 조절을 할 수가 있는데 지금은 컬러는 그냥 놔두겠습니다. Shift D로 복제를 해주시고요. 그리고 이렇게 R 로테이트로 한번 뒤집어 줍니다. 우선 복제를 방금 만든 조명을 언두를 했고요. Shift D로 다시 한번 복제를 하고 마우스 오른쪽 버튼으로 이렇게 겹쳐 놓은 다음에 그다음에 여기 오브젝트 가서 미러가 있습니다. 여기서 X 미러를 해주시면은 대칭으로 이렇게 미러가
Okay, so what I think she did.
오브젝트 가서
Oh, mirror global X. Okay. And then she moved it here. I
미러가
see.
있습니다.
I see.
여기서 X 미러를 해주시.
Does Blender allow you to have note? Like, what do you mean? Like a sticky note? I don't know if it does, honestly. If that's what you mean. Yeah, I don't know.
시면은 대칭으로 이렇게 미러가 됩니다. 이렇게 위치를 잡아주시면 되겠습니다.
Explore past project and be like, what did I do to get this?
그리고
Yeah.
Shift A로 empty를 하나 꺼내주시고요. 그 다음에 여기서 일반 축 하나를 꺼내줍니다. 그리고 이 일반 축에 이 조명들을 다 묶을 거예요. 그래서 조명 클릭, 클릭,
So Shift A, empty.
클릭하고 마지막에 이 empty를 눌러줍니다. 그 다음에 컨트롤 P를 눌러서 오브젝트를 선택을 해줍니다. 그러면 이 FT를 움직이며 조명이 같이 따라 움직이게 되고요.
So let's see.
을 꺼내서 원형을 변형시켜서 만들도록 할 거예요. 혹시라도 커서가 이렇게 가운데 있지 않고 이런 식으로 위치가 벗어나 있으면요. 커서를 먼저 리셋을 시켜주셔야 돼요. 이 오브젝트는
So wait, it looks like all her
커서로부터
lighting's
생성
gone. Oh no, she just hit it. Okay. She went back into shader mode. Okay. Oh. She made this one a little different.
생성이 되기 때문에 커서가 여기 있게 되면 오브젝트도 여기서 생성이 되게 됩니다. 자, 작업을 편하게 하기 위해서 커서를 원점으로 설정을 해줄 거예요. Shift C를 눌러주면 커서가 이렇게 리셋이 됩니다. 자, 이제 원형을 꺼내보도록 할 건데
Let me double check and make sure that. Okay, doesn't matter now. It just feels like it's different. I know mine's not exact to hers, but it's just like, it feels like it's so different. Like she changed it.
인데요. 우선 화면을
Save this. Dawn's more fun her as a base, I think. Kind of like that. Yeah. And this is... slightly bigger. X, Y. Oh my god, there we go. Oh, those are floating. There you go. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I think that looks cute. I think it looks cute. Oh, fucking tired. Boah. Mm. Actually, I think I'm gonna call it here. I have been doing a lot of crap, so my mental power is kind of fading. So I think I'll just call it here for tonight. This was fun though. I know tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming the whatchamacallit. Uh Genshin Impact. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. Alright, let's see. Who is someone I can raid? Close that. Who are you? There's this person I followed, but I have no idea who the hell they are. Hello. I I literally don't know who the hell this is. I guess I'll raid Slick. All right, y'all have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow for Genshin stream. Bye-bye.